You know, trying to play, even trying to attempt to play like Stevie Ray Vaughan sometimes feels like, well, climbing the Mount Everest, right? I mean, this is frigging hard, but the way I look at it is, you want to forget about trying to equal Stevie Ray Vaughan. That's impossible, right? But even if you can only play 40 or 50% of what he's doing, imagine how much you have learned and how much you have improved as a player yourself, and that's what's really important. So in today's video, we're going to take a look at my personal top 10 Stevie Ray Vaughan songs. Small part from a song called Testify, written by the Isley Brothers. And the thing is, it's not just about the notes. I mean, you can learn the notes. But it's playing those notes with the level of emotion and fire that he's doing. I mean, same notes, totally different feel, right? And the difference is, well, if you want to play in the style of Stevie Ray Vaughan, you have to be willing to give everything you've got. You know, you might make a few guitar phases in the process, like I do. I do more than a few. It probably looks a bit stupid, but if you want to get anywhere near to what he's doing, it doesn't really matter how it looks, but you have to dig deep inside and take those emotions and be willing to show them to the public. Now, that might sound like the easiest thing in the world, right? Well, I can do that. Well, it's not that easy, because when you start playing the guitar, especially in front of a group of people, playing your deepest emotions, well, people might think you're nuts, right? And here's a sad fact. Most guitarists would rather play it safe, stay in their comfort zone, than risk being ridiculed. And when you think about Stevie Ray Vaughan, what's the most important, the most special thing about his playing? His technique? Well, no. His technique was impeccable, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't the most special thing. The most special thing is, he was playing as if there was no tomorrow. Now, what does it mean, playing like there is no tomorrow? Well, it means you're not worried about how you look, about what people think, about whether you make a mistake. Hell, if there's no tomorrow, you might as well give everything you've got, right? You know, when it comes to Stevie Ray Vaughan, don't do what 95% of all the other guitarists are doing, which is focus on technique. The technique is the key. I've got to have the technique. Yeah, and the feel will magically somehow be there. No, you start with the feel. If only you can play one lick, you give everything you got. And then you build the technique. that was from a song called Riviera Paradise. Beautiful instrumental written by Stevie himself. And when you need to improvise a guitar solo on a song like this, always I do this. So I always sing along, and you can imagine why I do it inside my mind, of course, not out loud. And the reason is, when you sing along, automatically you're going to go somewhere that's musical. It's very hard to sing something that's not musical. You cannot do, you're not going to do that. So it helps. And even, it's a good way to practice also, because when you actually physically out loud sing, this happens. You notice? I had to take a breath because otherwise I'm not able to sing the next melody. And that forces you to breathe in your guitar work as well. That makes it instantly twice as good because you're phrasing. Very important. Now next up, we have a song that was written by Mr. Buddy Guy. Mary Had a Little Lamb, a song taken from his debut album, Texas Flood. And if you want to play Stevie Ray Vaughan, this is a good place to start with because it's one of the more, well, quote-unquote, easier songs. And the first thing you need to do is just to be able to play that riff. And notice my feet tapping. Yeah, so I'm in the pocket, as they say, or at least try to be. And of course, then you need to play the rhythm part. And when you listen to the rhythm, it's very much a soul type of rhythm. And the fun part is you need to put the two together. Yeah, quote unquote easy. I mean, there's no easy Stevie Ray Vaughan song. Things that Stevie did really well was to listen to the great blues guitarists that came before him and take some of those licks and add them to his own repertoire. For example, a lick like in Cold Shot that's heavily inspired by Buddy Guy. He used to do this lick all the time. And someone else who was a great influence on Stevie's playing was a man called Lightning Hopkins. When you listen to Stevie play, something he does very often is this. I mean, that's a Lightning Hopkins lick. And Lightning Hopkins was also the inspiration for this next song. Challenges in playing Stevie Ray Vaughan is the simple fact of trying to keep it up, stamina. After a while, playing with that intensity, your hand it just gives up. Like, oh, I'm done. And it's not the drugs. People said, well, it's because he did drugs. That's it. Easy fix. Well, he quit doing drugs and he still had the same stamina and it was just as brilliant. So no, there's no easy fix. But what is important though is the type of strings that he's using, because he's playing on 0.13, which I do not recommend at all. But if you're playing on 0.9, yeah, the stamina's no problem. Yeah, but you're not gonna have that sound. You want that full, rich tone. So what I have here is 0.11, and that's kind of the best of both worlds. It gives you that fat tone while still being able to do the bending. Regardless what strings you're gonna use, make sure to tune your guitar one step down. That's gonna make everything just a little bit easier. It's not very often that you hear a Jimi Hendrix cover, and that the cover is actually equally as good, or dare I say it, perhaps even better than the original. Now, Stevie Ray Vaughan's version is quite different because he doesn't sing, for one thing, and it's more of a stretched out improvisation where he starts incredibly low key and very subtle. It just sends shivers up your spine. Beautiful stuff, and he just this great guitar solo afterwards. Now, next up, we have a song that Stevie wrote himself, and it's sometimes referred to as a classic Texas shuffle. Pride and Joy, one of his signature songs that Stevie himself wrote. And when you want to play this song, it's critical to get that rhythm, that Texas shuffle, to get it right. And to practice, it's actually easy enough to start. You have everything open, up, mute, down. Well, that's easy. So we have... But to get that sound, you want to have your hand moving in a circular motion, like a circle. So now we have, at the notes, brilliant stuff. Now, next up on number 3, we have a song that is probably the most difficult on the list. remember practicing this song when I was 15 or 16, and I remember being so frustrated with it that I felt the urge just to throw my guitar against the wall. I suggest to practice this song with a cheap guitar. It's frigging difficult. It's not just a matter of playing the notes and trying to play it fast. There are lots of dynamics in there as well. There's an accent. Also another accent on the B string. And another one on the slide down. And then a decrescendo. It's supposed to be softer. And the thing is, when you start to play faster and faster, your hand starts to tighten up and all the details go out the window and you're just happy to make the finish line, right? So my tip is to keep everything relaxed, loose and relaxed, and just keep practicing. And if you want to practice this song, by the way, Paul Davis has an excellent video on how to play this tune as well, so be sure to check that one out. Now, next up, we have a song that was originally recorded by Larry Davis. Beginning from Texas Flood, great epic blues and very much Albert King inspired. Some of those licks, that's typically Albert King. But the thing is, it's not an easy blues to play at all because it's in the key of G, and G, that's a pretty darn difficult key because all those bends, it's very hard to do. It's much easier to do the bends a bit higher up on the fretboard. So after a while, keeping that up for 4 minutes, I mean, I don't even want to think about how that feels on 0.13 strings. It's very exhausting. There you go, guys. That was my personal top 10 Stevie Ray Vaughan video, and I put there Tin Pan Alley as my absolute favorite at the #1 spot. So let me know in the comments down below what you think. Did I miss some songs that should have been, could have been on the list? Also, do not forget that on Patreon, I'm going to release some of those backing tracks for you to practice and play along yourself. And I will see you next time.